Welcome back.
I think the longer we just sit here, the more uncomfortable it will make Jay.
You know Jay's watching right now. You know, he's getting a live feed in a satellite truck right now. He is watching every second. Dave looks unhappy. He's gonna pack it in soon.
Yeah. You, I know from your perspective...
Well, I'm done. That was all I had to do.
I know from your perspective it was difficult.
What are we talking about now?
You know, when you decided to go to TBS and all of that, and you took our show and did a great job there. Then you had the Tonight Show, did a great job there. And then... some kind of a mix-up.
I really don't recall. It's
how do you
it's been a long time.
How do you feel now on the other side of all of that? You got to feel great. You got to feel.
I feel terrific. I really do. You know, all I ever wanted to do was, I mean, I'm very lucky to get to go on television and to do my thing my way. And TBS lets me do whatever I want. They don't watch it. They don't care. Checks come in.
They're not watching.
No, that's the magic. And I have a great time. You know, we took all of our people with us, so everybody is happy, and so I'm thrilled. It worked out, and I'm a lucky person. So
and forgive me for making this all about me, but that's kind of what I do. I was delighted by everything that happened, except you losing your job.
I will tell you. I will tell you, and this is honest, the only consolation I took during that period was that you were happy. It was really...
It was really humanitarian.
I did. I felt sometimes Dave seems a tad unhappy in his life. And if this is bringing you some measure of joy, then to hell with my career.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Let me explain myself. I knew you would be just fine.
Yeah, I can forage for food.
No, I don't think that was ever going to be a question.
I can catch animals and eat them. I knew I'd be all right. But you were happy. I'm happy for you that you were happy.
Let me illustrate this. I've known Jay a long, long time. We go back to the mid-'70s, back in Los Angeles at the Comedy Store. Jay was always the guy. The funniest guy. He was the guy. He was the guy you'd go to see. He was the guy you wished you could be more like. He was funny. He was also a bit of a brat. A bit of a brat. And so then... oh, you know, when this came along, I said to myself, oh, yes, this is the Jay I know. And I really, and I kind of, you know, I refer to that period as the golden age of television, really.
The period when I lost the Tonight Show.
Yes.
That brief week and a half period for you is the golden age of broadcasting.
Yes, that's right. But it has nothing to do with you.
Then I'm contented.
This, and people, this is a silly question. I'll ask it anyway. Any moments of genuine amusement during that ordeal?
Yes. Yes, there were some. There were moments when I was able to step outside my body and see the absurdity of it all. There was I had the Tonight Show, I believe, on a Friday, stepped down, left the Tonight Show. On Monday, we had things to figure out, how to take care of people, how to get things, you know, how to dismantle this mechanism. And I called my assistant, I said, we got to get together. And she said, we have no office. So we went to a Marie Callender's restaurant in the Valley.
You have no office.
And it was empty. I'm not kidding. There's a Marie Callender's in Burbank, and I went there with my assistant, Sona, and she sat on one side and I sat on the other. and I'm barking, you know, this is what we're going to do, see? We're going to take care of everyone, yeah. And we're going to do that, and we're going to do the next thing, too. And a woman came by and said, didn't know or care who I was, do you want one of our 9 pies? And I realized in that moment the disparity between sitting behind the desk as the host of The Tonight Show on a Friday and being demoted to a table at Marie Callender's, which, by the way, is a fine restaurant. Yeah. And it makes a killer pie, but I thought, this is appropriate somehow.
Yeah.
This is...
Not everyone would agree that it's a demotion, going from The Tonight Show to Marie Callender's, because, as you can tell, the pie...
But you've worked through, you clearly were using my experience to work through some things.
Let me tell you something. I've had my own trouble. I've had my own, Lord knows, I've had my share of trouble. So when I saw other trouble, and again, it wasn't at your expense.
You're someone who's been in a car accident, who passed another guy lying on the road and said,
That's right. That's right.
I was in one of those once. It was terrible.
Let me return to my position here. It was the delight of seeing. Now, how many times, just between all of us, how many times in your life have you seen a picture of Jay stopping by the side of the road to help elderly folks who have run out of gas or whose car has caught fire, who have lost a tire or something? And there is Jay being the Good Samaritan to help out those people, like the AAA, except the AAA doesn't bring a photographer. That's the only difference between Jay and the AAA. And I just thought, oh, and so for that reason and other reasons, I really enjoyed it. And have you spoken to anybody at NBC?
No. Who in particular? Anyone come to mind?
No, they're all gone, the people that I remember.
I think everyone involved in my situation, with maybe an exception, is gone. So there's no one there anymore that was there during my
Nobody at the
debacle.
Scene of the crime.
Yeah. It's a whole different, I'm told it's a lovely group. I wish them nothing but the best. And...
Put a polygraph on him. And what about your relationship with Jay? Because you knew Jay before he demanded that he get his show back.
I was assured none of this would come up tonight. I was told we would discuss our shared love of antiquing. Our many wonderful vacations together. I was never informed that this would come up. But what is your question again? And you repeat it as many times as you like.
We can get you an office at Blimpie's.
Trust me. But I'm so insecure now in my talk show jobs that I'm always eyeing tables at restaurants.
You just.
I could go there. I could be happy.
But you had a relationship with Jay before the felony took place. What was the relationship like with Jay before this?
Yeah, occasional phone call and...
Did you feel a kinship, a camaraderie?
It's a busy world. I come from a large family. No, I would say up until this event, we didn't have that much in common.
Right.
We're quite different fellows, he and I. I don't know why I suddenly reverted to 19th century diction. But he and I are different, and so we didn't have a lot to talk about in common.
Right.
I don't own many automobiles that were made before 1904, primarily of brass and leather. And so I don't know what to...
Now,
honestly...
now we're going. Now we're getting someplace.
I don't know. There are very few ways, and I'm not saying this in a disparaging tone at all. There are very few ways in which he and I relate.
Right.
We're not interested in, I don't think, in the same things.
Right, but nonetheless, you had a bond via NBC and your 2 late-night shows.
Yes, he was my lead-in. He was the host of The Tonight Show. I was the host of The Late Night Show.
Right, and they put him on at 10 o'clock, and then that didn't work out. And it was, so then they said, Jay, are you busy? And he said, no, I'm just working on my cars. So he came back, and they said, well, go to...
You're not doing the head waggle.
Gives me an inner ear problem. We'll be right back with Conan O'Brien, everybody. Conan O'Brien is here, ladies and gentlemen. Conan, how long did you do the late night program at NBC?
The late night program, I believe I did it almost, maybe about 16 years, something like that.
Paul and I did it before you for 12 and a half years. So you're the longest running host of that time period. And before Paul and I did it, what was it, Paul? It was the Tomorrow Show with Tom Snyder.
Tom Snyder.
Which was, in its inception, a tremendous show.
A brilliant show.
Yeah, it was a great
terrific, riveting interviews with John Lydon from the Sex Pistols, John Lennon.
Yeah, he did a lot of really nice stuff. And now you're at TBS, and things are great there. You have a hit show on TBS, and they leave you alone. You get to do everything you want.
Yeah.
How's your family? Are they all settled and everything's good now?
Family's terrific. I have a lovely wife. I have 2 kids. I have an 8-year-old boy and a 6-year-old son.
Tell me all about the 8-year-old, because I have an 8-year-old.
I have an 8-year-old girl, Nev, and she's terrific. She is very beautiful. She's very smart. She's very quick to judge, like me. Extremely judgmental. And then I have a boy, Beckett, who is 6, and you've been through the boy phase where it's just all, they're great, and then they dissolve into absolute tyrannical rages. Like Stalin. They become Stalin. They become insane dictators within seconds if they haven't had their food. If their blood sugar level falls below a certain point, they'll kill me and all of you to get what they want.
Has the child actually taken a life?
We had, the closest we came is I did a event for Turner called Christmas in Washington, and it's an event, and they said that you perform for the number of people in Washington. You also perform for the president, the first lady, the vice president, and this is a great thing. And I said, I'd love to do this, and they said you can bring
the kids,
the wife and the children. I thought this is fantastic. Yeah. My children will meet an American president. So we go, I go, and I'm preparing for the event. My wife brings the children. They lock it down for security reasons. They just completely lock it down. And then they say, okay, before the event, you're going to get to meet and have your picture taken with the president. This is very exciting. My kids are nicely dressed. And my wife mentions to me casually, as we're getting in the line, the children haven't eaten today. And as any parent will tell you, you have that moment of, this isn't something, I don't know, I'm very busy today. I've got a show to do in front of the president, but that concerns me. I have some concern, Dave. And then we get on the line, and we're ready, and we've talked to the kids. You say, hello, Mr. President, and the First Lady, and the boy's wearing his little tie, and the girl's wearing her nice dress, and I'm wearing a dress, and everything's fine, and we're ready to go.
What?
We'll get to that part. We'll get to it. It comes later. And we're ready, and they say, I hear someone say, President in 5 minutes. We got President in 5. And things get really quiet in the room. There's a lot of people waiting to meet the president. And all of a sudden, I just hear, I don't want to meet with him. And I look over, and it's my son. And he's just going, don't meet the president. And I just say, hey, you know, Beckett, take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. And I start to get, I look around, and I just see that they're like, President in 4 minutes, President in 4. We got POTUS in 4, and I'm really getting concerned. So we start to try and reason with him, and you've been down this road.
Yes, I have.
And I'm like, now that, and then he just sits on the ground on the red carpet and faces away from us. And so, if you've ever tried to pick up a child who doesn't want to be picked up, it's like picking up antimatter with chopsticks. You can't do it. So I'm trying to get him up. And then, this is an absolutely true story, the next person in line with us is Mr. Justin Bieber. No joke. I'm not kidding, because he's one of the performers at the show. And so he reaches over and he thinks, I got this, I'm Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I'm Justin Bieber.
He reaches over.
I can handle this.
And I see him going to pet my son, and I kind of want to stop it, because I know where this is going. But there's part of me that thinks, no.
Let's see. Let's take a look.
enjoy this. This is going to be good. So he reaches out and he touches my son's head and kind of gives him one of these, like, I'm Justin Bieber, it's going to be fine. You know?
Yeah.
Sorry, he was Leno for a second. I'm just, you know, and he does that. And my son, no joke, whips around and says, stop it.
That's the appropriate response.
It is the appropriate response.
Absolutely the appropriate response.
And so then he starts to dissolve even more. We don't know what to do, and I start to say to my wife, you got to get him out of here. And my wife doesn't want to miss her chance to meet the president. So she says, no, I think he's going to be fine. And I said, he's not fine. Meanwhile, he's like Curly from the Three Stooges. So finally, we open her purse, we rummage through it, we find a half of a cracker, we get it into him. Seconds later, I hear, I was ready to tell the Secret Service, take him out if you have to. If you have to, you have my permission. And then at the last second, the president comes and gets there. We step up, and he had the cracker 30 seconds before, and my son, who's 6, is like, Mr. President. Michelle.
What is that?
Good to see you. How are you?
Where does that come from?
Fantastic. He pulled it together. That's my boy.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's an impressive feat, and congratulations. Good for him. The kid knows when to pull it together.
Yeah.
Very impressive. We'll be right back here with Conan O'Brien, everybody. Conan O'Brien. But for the summer, do you have time off? Are you going to Chicago?
We're going to Chicago. Yeah, we're at the Chicago Theater where you took the late night show.
Yeah, we did it there, and it was a fantastic facility.
I love that place.
As you know, it's a great city, a great town, and the audiences will be absolutely thrilled to have you there. Will you get time off to do fun stuff with the family as a unit?
That was it, what I just described. That's time with my family, so I learned my lesson. No, you know, I hope at some point I'm coaching some, I'm helping coach. I'm an assistant coach in T-ball now, which is, I don't know if you've gone down that road.
T-ball, we're now into coach pitch, but as I have described T-ball, an inning of T-ball is the most exciting 3 hours in sports.
Yeah. When you see a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old or a 5-year-old make a legitimate out, field the ball, throw it to first, and put someone out, it's like seeing the face of Christ on toast.
I know. It's
miraculous.
Yes.
Actual play happened. Other than that, you might as well just duct tape some gloves to cats and let them roam around the field. And my favorite thing is when a kid does connect, which is hilarious, he connects with the ball and it goes out into the outfield, the kids don't run towards the ball, they start randomly spinning.
Yeah.
Like they're at a Fish concert. It's unbelievable.
Now, I will tell you that things get a little better with coach pitch, and a couple of weeks ago we're at a game and my son is playing shortstop.
How old is your
He is 8 years old.
He's 8 years old.
And he makes the play. And as you know, so please, if you're not going to make the play, at least let it hit you so it doesn't roll to the fence. So he grabs the ball. It's kind of a heroic stab at shortstop. There's nobody on base. The runner is moving down to first base. He picks it up, scoops it up cleanly, and tosses it to third. So you get a...
It's starting to gel.
Yeah, it's coming together.
It's starting to gel.
Yeah. Is he good at the plate? Because that's really all you need to worry about, too. You don't want the kid to embarrass himself at the plate.
You know, he's actually quite good. Watching T-ball, have started to wish that I would love to see, and maybe, I don't have the resources to make this happen, but you could. I would love to see major league caliber hitters hitting off of a tee.
Yeah,
I think it would be so fun to see a David Ortiz and look at that game and the scores. I would like to see them major league games where the scores are like 145 to 144. It would be extremely...
Eliminate pitching altogether.
Yeah, and steroids encouraged.
Why not?
The combination of steroids and the tee.
Have you, you know, I saw your sister in a movie, for God's sake.
Yes, my sister Kate.
That was fantastic.
She did a terrific job. She's very talented.
What was the film? Was the
Fighter. Yeah, my sister auditioned. They had no idea that she was any relation to me.
Really? Other than, she looks exactly like...
Well, she looks like me in a wig, yeah. No, she's an attractive version of me. She's very talented, and she, yeah, they had no idea. She did a terrific job. They put her in this film, and she nailed it.
Yeah.
I was extremely proud of her. Yeah, I think she, I mean, she also teaches, so she's balancing it. She's working in show business and helping humanity.
Now, that's unheard of, for God's sakes. Now,
you won't see me going down that road.
Do you like living in California?
You know what? California is pretty good. I will say, I got to look at your audience, and it's a good-looking crowd, and I'm not saying that just to cue applause right now. There's no time.
It's so cheap.
So cheap. Beneath you. I saw, and you'll relate to this, I saw it's one thing that's very different there, is that the audiences are much more casual in their dress.
A little more relaxed, yeah.
A little more relaxed, and so I noticed, there was a picture that I saw in the years I worked at NBC, which was, it was a reverse angle of Jack Parr doing his Tonight Show monologue, and it's a reverse angle, and you see the audience. The men are in ties. They're all Don Draper on Mad Men. They've got the ties and the jackets. The women are wearing sensible Republican cloth coats. Everything's... And they're all sitting there and enjoying the show.
Right.
I watched an evolution occur throughout the 80s and the 90s, and it got more gradual. In Los Angeles, people come to the tapings in board shorts, flip-flops, thongs, and nothing else. World War I helmets, fake beards, eye patches. It's a freak show.
I think you also mentioned that they often bring animals with them.
They bring livestock. So cherish this. This is old time. This is the Ed Sullivan Theater, and it's.
I love being in this theater.
Beautiful.
This is Conan O'Brien right here in Chicago, week of June 11th. Great pleasure to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on everything. I'm glad
Thank you very much.
to have you here. Come back anytime. Conan O'Brien, ladies and gentlemen.